The small human warship Hawk drifted silently in the empty stretch of space near the star system of Xylan 7. Its hull was scratched, patched in strange places, and its engines made a low, uneven hum. To any other species in the galaxy, it looked ridiculous. The design was old, the weapons were mismatched, and it moved in a way that seemed almost clumsy. Yet inside, Captain Leo stood on the bridge, eyes focused, scanning the star-filled darkness. "Status report," Leo said, his voice steady. "Shields are at 80%, replied Myra, the ship's engineer. She tapped on the control panel with practiced ease. "Weapons are online, but you know they are not exactly what the others call advanced." Leo nodded. "I know. That is why we must use what we have smartly." Across the galaxy, other species had fleets of sleek, fast, and perfectly armed warships. They laughed at humans because they built ships that were slow and awkward. The Hawk was no exception. Other commanders often joked that it was the dumbest human warship in the galaxy. Even Leo had to admit that if you judged by looks, it would be easy to dismiss. Yet humans had something no one else expected. They had creativity, courage, and a way of thinking that could twist the rules of battle in their favor. A sudden warning flashed on the bridge. The alien fleet was entering the Xylan 7 system. Hundreds of ships glimmered like sharp points of light, moving with deadly precision. Alien commanders had never seen a ship like the Hawk, and they were ready to destroy it at first sight. "Aliens are scanning us," said Taro, the communications officer. "They are asking for surrender." Leo clenched his jaw. "We do not surrender. Prepare for maneuvering. Everyone, stay alert." The crew moved quickly, but calmly. Myra checked weapons systems again while Rena, the pilot, adjusted the flight controls. Every movement seemed small, but it was precise and coordinated. The alien fleet fired first. Bright beams of energy streaked across space toward the Hawk. Most would have expected instant destruction. But the ship twisted, turned, and dipped in ways that seemed impossible for such a small, slow craft. The first shots missed, bouncing off nearby asteroids and disappearing into the void. The aliens stared at their screens in disbelief. "How is that possible?" one shouted. "That ship should have been destroyed by now." Leo stayed calm. "Keep moving. Use the asteroids. Use the shadows. Be unpredictable." Rena steered the ship through a cluster of rocky debris. The Hawk's engines groaned, sparks flickering on the old panels. But somehow, the combination of human skill and clever design made the ship seem alive. On the bridge, Myra noticed something strange. "Captain, the old systems we thought were weak, they are helping us. The targeting sensors are malfunctioning in a way that confuses their weapons. If we time our moves right, we can dodge most of their fire." Leo smiled slightly. "Good. That is exactly what we need. Let's turn our weaknesses into strengths." The alien fleet tried to adjust, but every calculation they made was thrown off by the human ship's unpredictable movement. Ships that were supposed to be faster, stronger, and more advanced could not hit the Hawk. Confusion spread through their ranks. "Captain, the smaller alien fighters are closing in," Taro warned. Leo looked at the approaching ships. He had a plan. "All crew, ready the drones. We are going to show them that appearances can be deceiving." Myra launched small drones from the ship's compartments. They moved in chaotic patterns, making it impossible for the aliens to predict. Some of the drones carried small energy bursts, others were just distractions. But combined, they created a wall of confusion around the Hawk. The aliens fired repeatedly, but the drones intercepted the shots. Rena steered through the chaos, weaving around the drones like a dancer moving through a crowd. Each alien ship that got too close found itself outmaneuvered in ways they could not understand. Leo spoke quietly, almost to himself. "They may think we are dumb, but humans never fight by rules alone. We make our own rules. On the bridge, the crew felt a mix of fear and excitement. They were small, outnumbered, and their ship was far from perfect. Yet together, they moved like a single mind. Each human on the Hawk used their creativity and instincts to make the impossible possible. The alien fleet had expected an easy victory. They had expected the humans to panic and surrender. But the Hawk kept moving, surviving, and confusing the enemy. What seemed like a slow, clumsy, and outdated ship was showing a spark that no advanced weapon could touch. Leo looked out at the stars ahead, determination burning in his eyes. This is only the beginning. They will learn that human courage and ingenuity cannot be measured by the size of a ship or the power of its weapons. The Hawk continued forward, the smallest and dumbest looking warship in the galaxy, yet carrying the most dangerous idea, that humans cannot be stopped. The alien fleet was stunned. Their scans showed a small, slow human warship, yet it moved with a confidence and unpredictability they could not calculate. Commander Zorak, leader of the alien fleet, slammed his clawed hand on the console. "How is this possible?" he hissed. "This ship should be destroyed. Fire everything." Bright beams of energy surged from the alien ships, slicing through space toward the Hawk. Leo's crew was ready. Rena twisted the controls, diving between floating asteroid fragments. Sparks flew from the shields as the energy beams hit and bounced off, barely scratching the old hull. Myra shouted, "Captain, their main cannons are locking on. If we are hit, we could lose the ship." Leo's voice was calm, steady, and commanding. "Do not panic. Follow the pattern. Use the drones. Distract them." The small drones released from the Hawk moved in unpredictable waves. Some carried small bursts of energy, others zipped between alien ships like living sparks. The alien pilots tried to aim, but the combination of moving asteroids, drones, and human unpredictability made every shot miss. Zorak growled, "This is impossible. Their movement is too erratic. Adapt, or we will fail." The aliens attempted to form a tighter formation, believing that their numbers would overwhelm the humans. Leo watched them carefully. "Now," he said. He pushed the ship's engines to their unusual limits. The Hawk jolted forward, then twisted sharply to the left, a movement no alien could anticipate. At the same moment, the drones zipped toward the alien ships in coordinated chaos, forcing them to maneuver and fire at the wrong targets. Myra cheered. "It is working. They cannot hit us." Even the humans on the bridge could not fully explain why their ship was so effective. The old design, the mismatched systems, and the patched engines all created quirks. Quirks that humans could use as advantages. Every weakness became a trap for the aliens. The smaller alien fighters began to panic. Ships collided as their pilots tried to anticipate the Hawk's next move. Commander Zorak barked orders, but his fleet was faltering. The human warship, small and slow, had turned the battlefield into chaos. "Captain, we can target the smaller ships now," Rena said. "Their formation is broken." Leo nodded. "Do it carefully. Use the drones as cover. We do not need to destroy all of them, just show them they cannot control us." The human ship fired a few energy pulses at the smaller fighters, hitting precise points that disabled engines but did not destroy the ships completely. The aliens' pride was wounded. The humans were not just surviving, they were controlling the battle in a way no one thought possible. Zorak's claws trembled on the console. "This is absurd. How can a single ship with weak weapons and slow engines cause so much damage?" Leo looked around the bridge. The crew was tense but confident. They moved like one mind, predicting each other's actions without words. Myra adjusted the shield frequency to reflect energy beams more efficiently. Rena maneuvered between asteroids, dodging even the fastest alien shots. Taro coordinated communications, ensuring they could respond instantly to any change. "Keep them busy," Leo ordered. "Do not let them recover." We will show them that humans fight differently. The aliens tried a new tactic, sending a fast ship to flank the Hawk. Leo noticed it on the monitor. Rena, take the helm. Myra, redirect energy to the left shields. Taro, release the decoy drones. The Hawk twisted in an unexpected spin. The decoy drones moved outward, drawing the flanking ship toward them. The alien ship fired repeatedly, but each shot hit nothing. Rena then used the ship's awkward engines to move behind the flanking vessel. A quick pulse from the Hawk disabled the alien engines temporarily, sending it drifting away. Yes! Myra exclaimed. They are falling apart. The alien fleet hesitated. Their confidence was shattered. Every move they tried was countered by human ingenuity. Zorak realized that raw technology alone would not win this battle. The humans fought unpredictably, creatively, and fearlessly. Leo knew they had survived the first attack, but the battle was not over. He looked at his crew, his eyes filled with pride. Remember, we do not have the best weapons or the fastest engines. But we have our minds, our courage, and our ability to think differently. That is what makes us dangerous. The crew nodded, energized by his words. They prepared for the next wave, ready to use every quirk, every unusual system, and every creative trick to survive. The Hawk, the ship that looked like a joke, had already turned the tide of the battle. And the aliens were only beginning to understand that human courage and creativity could not be stopped by numbers or technology alone. The alien fleet had stopped laughing. Their sleek, powerful ships now moved cautiously, trying to understand the strange human warship that had turned the first attack into a disaster for them. Captain Leo of the Hawk watched the enemy fleet carefully. He knew the humans were outnumbered, but that did not matter. What mattered was thinking differently. Captain, the smaller alien ships are regrouping, Rena said. Her hands moved quickly over the controls. They are trying to surround us. Leo nodded. Good. Let them. That is when we will show them what humans can do. Myra checked the drones. We have enough energy for another pulse attack, but we need to aim carefully. We cannot waste it. Leo smiled. Then we will use it wisely. He turned to Taro. Send out the decoy signals again. Make them think we are weaker than we are. The Hawk suddenly split its sensor signature. Small decoy signals moved outward, appearing like multiple ships. The alien commanders saw them and assumed the humans were trying to escape. They sent several fighters to intercept the decoys. Now, Leo said, and Rena twisted the ship sharply through an asteroid belt. The alien ships followed blindly, crashing against rocks or firing uselessly into empty space. Myra laughed quietly. It is working. They cannot keep up with us. The Hawk's weapons were not the most powerful, but humans used them in unexpected ways. Small energy pulses ricocheted off asteroids and hit alien ships in weak spots. Drones zipped between enemy ships, confusing their sensors. Even the aliens' superior speed could not match the humans' unpredictability. One alien fighter tried to chase the human ship alone. Leo noticed it on the monitor. Rena, take the right flank. Myra, adjust the energy to the pulse cannon. Taro, signal the drones to move in a circle around the ship. The Hawk spun in a sudden arc. The alien fighter fired, but the shot hit a drone and exploded harmlessly. Then a pulse from the Hawk disabled the alien engines, sending it drifting. The other ships hesitated, unsure how to respond. Captain, they are slowing down, Taro said. They do not know what to do next. Leo knew this was the moment to strike. Prepare the coordinated attack. We are going to hit their formation now. The human crew moved as one. Myra adjusted the weapons to fire in a staggered pattern. Rena steered through the debris, dodging shots while lining up targets. Taro coordinated the drones to block and confuse the enemy. The first wave of energy pulses struck the alien ships precisely. Engines sputtered, shields flickered, and some smaller fighters were forced to retreat. The alien commanders were furious. How can one ship destroy so many? This is impossible. The Hawk moved like a living creature, unpredictable and clever. Every shot from the humans found a weak point in the alien ships. They were not just attacking, they were teaching the aliens that human creativity was more dangerous than any advanced weapon. One large alien cruiser tried to flank the humans. Leo noticed a weakness in its formation. Rena, move left toward the debris field. Myra, redirect shields to the left side. Taro, prepare the decoy drones. The cruiser followed, thinking it could surround the humans. Instead, the Hawk led it into the debris field. The decoy drones distracted its sensors, and a careful pulse from the ship's weapons hit the cruiser's shield generator. Sparks flew, and the cruiser slowed. Yes. Myra shouted. They are weakening. Even though the humans were outnumbered, they were gaining control of the battle. Every alien move was anticipated, every attack met with a clever counter. The aliens' pride was shattered. They had expected an easy victory over a ship they called the dumbest in the galaxy. Leo knew the battle was far from over. The alien fleet was still larger, still powerful. But he also knew that humans had an advantage no one else had, the ability to think differently, to use every weakness as a strength, and to act together with courage and trust. Keep the pressure on, Leo ordered. Do not let them recover. Show them humans are not just clever with machines, we are clever with ideas. The crew smiled, adrenaline pumping. They moved as one mind, each action supporting the others. Drones darted, weapons fired, and the ship twisted through space like a living creature. The alien fleet struggled to keep up. Commander Zarek watched his screens, frustration boiling. How can this be? One ship is defeating us with old systems and weak weapons. They are not just surviving. They are controlling the battle. Leo looked out into the dark expanse of space, determination in his eyes. We are small, yes. Our weapons are not the strongest. But our minds, our courage, and our unity will always give us an advantage. The Hawk continued forward, dodging, striking, and outsmarting the aliens. The battle that seemed hopeless at the start had turned into a demonstration of human skill and creativity. The aliens learned that in war, thinking differently could be stronger than any technology. And for the humans on the Hawk, this was only the beginning. The alien fleet had regrouped, larger and angrier than before. More ships appeared on the sensors, sleek vessels bristling with energy weapons and shields. Commander Zarek was furious. The humans had survived their first attacks, but now they would pay. Captain, Taro said, pointing at the monitor, they are bringing reinforcements. At least twice as many ships as before. Leo's eyes narrowed. We expected that. Prepare the crew. Remember, we do not fight like others. We fight smart. Rena adjusted the helm. Captain, if they attack together, we might be surrounded. Their numbers are too many. Leo shook his head. They may have numbers, but we have unpredictability. They cannot anticipate what we do next. Myra tapped on the control panel. The old engines are ready, but they will strain if we push too hard. We can use them to outmaneuver the first wave, then conserve energy for the second. The Hawk moved forward, small but confident. The alien fleet fired in unison, bright beams cutting through the void. The shields flared as the first shots hit, but Leo had planned for this. Rena, weave through the debris field ahead, he commanded. Myra, divert shields to the front and rear alternately. Taro, prepare the drones to distract their targeting systems. The ship twisted sharply, engines groaning under the strain. The alien ships followed, but every maneuver brought them closer to the asteroid field. Drones darted around, mimicking multiple human ships and creating false targets. Alien sensors were overwhelmed. Captain, They are losing formation, Taro reported. They cannot aim properly. Leo smiled. Exactly what we want. Now we strike. The Hawk fired a series of energy pulses at the disorganized alien ships. Though the pulses were small, they hit critical weak points on engines and shields. Some alien vessels spun uncontrollably and were forced to retreat. Others collided with asteroids or each other in panic. Zorak growled in frustration. They are not just surviving. They are winning with weak weapons and a broken ship. Adapt. But the aliens could not. Every strategy they tried was countered by human ingenuity. Every predictable move met an unpredictable response. The humans on the Hawk acted as one mind, each crew member anticipating the others. Captain, another wave is approaching, Rena said. This one has heavy cruisers. They will hit hard. Leo took a deep breath. Good. That will test us. Humans are never the strongest, but we are always the cleverest. Use what you have, make it count. Myra adjusted the shields and weapons. Pulse cannons ready. Energy redistribution complete. As the heavy cruisers closed in, the Hawk executed a daring maneuver. Rena spun the ship around, moving directly toward the center of the incoming fleet. The alien commanders expected a collision, but the Hawk weaved between them like a dancer, dodging every shot. Captain, this is insane, Taro said, barely holding onto his console. We are weaving through 36 ships at once. Leo smiled calmly. Insane works when the enemy expects reason. Stay focused. We are not just fighting. We are teaching them a lesson. The humans unleashed the pulse weapons in sequence, timing each shot to strike when enemy shields were weakest. The decoy drones moved in intricate patterns, confusing targeting systems and drawing enemy fire. Some of the heavy cruisers were damaged, engines sputtering, shields flickering. Look at that, Myra said, awe in her voice. They cannot keep up. Every time they adjust, we move differently. Even the alien fleet's elite pilots began to panic. Their advanced technology and training could not match the human creativity on display. Commander Zorak watched helplessly as one ship after another faltered under attacks from a vessel they called the dumbest in the galaxy. Leo glanced at his crew. Remember, we are small, our weapons are weak, but our minds are sharp. Keep them guessing. Make every move unexpected. Rena guided the Hawk toward the rear of the fleet. Myra fired precise pulses at key targets, disabling engines without destroying ships completely. Taro coordinated the drones to intercept shots and create confusion. Each action was synchronized perfectly, creating chaos among the aliens. Zorak growled. This cannot be happening. One ship is outsmarting us all. Regroup and fire on everything. The humans responded with even greater creativity. The Hawk split the drones into multiple groups, creating false formations. Energy pulses were timed to bounce off asteroids, hitting targets indirectly. The alien fleet could not keep track of what was real or false. By the time the wave passed, several alien cruisers were damaged, some forced to retreat, and their morale was shattered. The humans had survived another attack and had begun turning the battle to their favor. Leo stood tall. Today, we proved something important. We may not be the strongest, but human ingenuity and courage cannot be measured by numbers or technology. We survive because we think differently, act boldly, and work together. The crew smiled, their confidence growing. The Hawk, small and imperfect, had survived against impossible odds. The aliens would think twice before underestimating humans again. In the endless darkness of space, the smallest warship in the galaxy continued forward, unstoppable not because of power, but because of the human spirit. The alien fleet's morale was collapsing. Several ships had been damaged or forced to retreat. Commander Zorak could not believe what he was seeing. One small, seemingly weak human warship was causing more destruction than he thought possible. Captain Leo studied the battlefield carefully. The humans were still outnumbered, but he had spotted something important. The alien flagship, the largest and most heavily armed vessel, was slightly separated from the rest of the fleet. Its position made it vulnerable. "Captain," Taro said, pointing at the monitor, "the flagship is weak on its lower hull. Most of the firepower is concentrated at the front. If we hit there, we could disable it." Leo's eyes gleamed. "That is our target. It will not be easy, but humans do not need easy. Prepare for a bold move." Rena adjusted the controls. "Captain, getting close will be dangerous. The flagship's shields are strong, and its guns can fire in all directions." Leo nodded. "We are not going in straight. We use what we have, unpredictability. Myra, adjust the shields for rapid energy shifts. Taro, deploy all drones in coordinated distraction patterns. Every shot they fire should be confused." The Hawk moved forward. Its engines strained as it twisted between the remaining alien cruisers, dodging beams and avoiding collisions. The drones separated into multiple groups, simulating several human ships. Alien sensors picked them up but could not identify the real Hawk. Zorak barked orders. "Target the main ship. Destroy it first." The flagship fired massive energy beams, but the Hawk moved like a shadow, never in the expected place. Every pulse from the alien ship struck a decoy drone or harmless space debris. Myra monitored the shields, redirecting energy instantly to the areas under the heaviest attack. "Captain, we are in position," Rena said quietly. "The flagship's weak lower hull is directly ahead." Leo smiled. "Now, fire everything we can in sequence. Hit its shields, then the hull." The human ship unleashed a carefully timed series of energy pulses. Each shot struck the weak points at the perfect moment, exploiting gaps in the flagship's shields. Sparks flew, and alarms sounded across the alien flagship. "Shields are failing," Taro reported. "They cannot adjust fast enough." The smaller alien cruisers tried to protect their leader, moving to intercept, but the Hawk twisted again, avoiding every attack with unmatched agility. The decoy drones created chaos, and the humans fired another series of pulses directly at the flagship. Myra shouted, "We are hitting it. Keep going." The flagship groaned under the repeated hits. Its massive energy weapons flickered and shut down for short moments. Zorak's claw slammed the console in frustration. "Impossible. This is one ship. One ship." Leo leaned forward. "Rena, final maneuver. We go under their fire arc and strike the hull directly." Rena nodded. The Hawk dipped low, engines straining as it flew toward the flagship. The alien fleet fired everything at once, but the humans had already anticipated it. Energy pulses bounced off drones, shields absorbed critical hits, and the ship moved in ways no one could predict. The final pulse struck the flagship's lower hull. Sparks and smoke erupted as engines faltered. The ship slowed, its shields weakened, and smaller cruisers hesitated, unsure what to do. "Captain, it worked," Taro said, amazement in his voice. "The flagship is disabled. The others are confused." Leo's eyes were steady. "Yes. They will retreat if we continue pressure. We are not out of danger yet, but we have turned the tide." Myra smiled. "I cannot believe it." "Our little ship," Leo interrupted gently. "It is not the ship. It is the crew, our thinking, our courage. The Hawk is just a tool. Humans made it powerful with our minds." The remaining alien cruisers began to pull back, their formation broken and morale shattered. Commander Zorak could not understand how a single human ship had done so much damage. He had trained all his life, had the most advanced fleet in the galaxy, and yet, one small, outdated warship had defeated him. Leo looked at his crew, pride shining in his eyes. "We have survived, We have proven that humans are clever, brave, and unpredictable. Today, one ship changed the course of a battle that should have been impossible to win. The Hawk, battered but alive, moved through space as a symbol of human ingenuity. Even the galaxy beyond would soon hear that humans were not to be underestimated. And for the crew, the battle was not just about survival. It was about showing that courage, creativity, and teamwork could make even the weakest vessel unstoppable in the hands of those who dared to think differently. The humans had won this encounter. The aliens would retreat, but the humans' reputation would grow. One ship, one crew, and one idea had made the galaxy take notice. The battle was over, and the alien fleet had retreated. The Hawk floated quietly among the debris of broken cruisers and scattered drones. Captain Leo looked at the stars, breathing slowly. His crew worked quickly to repair minor damage, but there was a sense of pride in every movement. "Captain," Taro said, scanning the communications channels, "other fleets are sending messages. They want to know what happened. They cannot believe a single human ship defeated so many of the aliens." Leo smiled. "They will hear soon enough. Humans fight differently. That is what makes us dangerous." Myra adjusted the shields and weapons. "The engines are repaired enough to continue, but we need a full overhaul soon. The ship took a lot of stress during the battle." Leo nodded. "We will dock at the nearest human station for full repairs. But first, we need to show the galaxy that humans do not give up, even when the odds are impossible." The crew gathered on the bridge, looking at the screens filled with alien signals. Many were confused, fearful, or even respectful. The human victory had made a ripple across nearby systems. Ships that had once ignored humanity now paid attention. "Captain, some alien factions are requesting peaceful contact," Taro said. "They want to avoid conflict in the future." Leo considered this. "We will not attack unless attacked. But we will not hide either. Humans survive by standing tall, not by shrinking in fear." Rena leaned back in her seat. "I never imagined we would pull it off. We were outnumbered, outgunned, and outmatched in every way. But we made it." Leo looked at her, pride in his eyes. "That is exactly what humans do. We find a way. We use what we have, think differently, and never give up. That is why we are unstoppable." The Hawk continued its journey toward the human station. The ship, small and old-looking, had become a symbol. Other species began to tell stories of the clever humans who had survived impossible odds. The nickname "the dumbest warship in the galaxy" was no longer mocking. It was now a legend. Myra worked at the controls, making repairs while keeping an eye on sensors. "Captain, we are receiving a message from the station. They want us to report immediately." Leo nodded. "Prepare for docking. We will give them our report, but we will also show them that humans fight smart, not just with weapons." As the Hawk entered the station's orbit, crowds gathered. Humans and other species alike came to see the ship that had defeated the alien fleet. Engineers and leaders from different systems studied the Hawk, fascinated by how such an old and patched-up ship had survived. A young officer from the station approached Leo. "Captain, everyone is asking how you did it. How can one small ship be so effective?" Leo smiled. "It is not the ship. It is the crew, the thinking, and the courage. Humans survive because we use our minds, work together, and never accept defeat. That is what made this possible." Myra added, "Every weak point, every flaw in the ship became a strength because we thought differently. We adapted. We were creative. That is what humans do best." News of the Hawk spread quickly. Across the galaxy, stories circulated of the ship that survived impossible battles. Rumors grew that no alien fleet could predict human tactics. Even fleets far from Xylan 7 began to prepare differently, learning that humans were clever and unpredictable opponents. Leo watched the stars from the station observation deck. The galaxy is beginning to understand. Humans cannot be stopped by numbers, technology, or fear. We survive and thrive because of our creativity and courage. Taro nodded. Other species will respect us now, or at least think twice before attacking. Leo placed a hand on the Hawk's hull. This ship is small, patched, and not perfect. But it carries the human spirit. Every victory, every survival, comes from the minds and hearts of our people. The galaxy will remember that. Rena looked at the station, then back at the stars. Do you think more battles will come? Leo's eyes shone with determination. Yes. But humans will always find a way. Every challenge is an opportunity to prove that even the smallest, weakest-looking ship can make the biggest difference. The Hawk's crew smiled, filled with pride and hope. They had faced impossible odds and survived. They had shown that human ingenuity, teamwork, and courage could change the course of events. And so, the Hawk became more than a ship. It became a symbol of humanity. A reminder that even when everything seems impossible, humans could survive, adapt, and inspire awe across the galaxy. The galaxy had seen one victory, but it was only the beginning. Humanity was ready to advance, clever, brave, and unstoppable. The Hawk rested in the human station, its hull patched and worn, yet proud. Captain Leo and his crew stood on the observation deck, watching the stars stretch endlessly across space. The galaxy had taken notice. Stories of the humans' courage and ingenuity traveled faster than any starship. Captain, Taro said, pointing at the communications console, messages are coming from fleets all over the nearby systems. They want alliances, guidance, or simply to know how humans fight. Leo nodded. They are learning that humans are unpredictable, clever, and fearless. That is why we survive and why no force can stop our advance. Myro leaned against the console. Do you think they will ever understand how we do it? We have old systems, patched engines, and mismatched weapons, but somehow we always find a way. Leo smiled. That is the point. They cannot predict us. We do not fight like others. Technology alone does not win battles. Thinking differently, acting boldly, and trusting one another does. Rena adjusted the ship's systems, preparing it for its next mission. Captain, the station is offering upgrades. We can make the Hawk even stronger. Leo shook his head. No. The Hawk has survived because of its crew and its quirks. Upgrades are useful, but they cannot replace creativity. We do not need perfection. We need ingenuity. As the crew prepared for departure, other human ships arrived. Each carried eager crews inspired by the story of the Hawk. Humans were spreading across the galaxy, not with overwhelming firepower, but with courage, intelligence, and determination. News reached alien species as well. Commander Zorak and his fleet had retreated but were not defeated. They studied human tactics with new respect, realizing that predicting human behavior was nearly impossible. Even the largest fleets could be outsmarted by a small, clever ship. The Hawk left the station, engines humming steadily. Captain Leo stood at the helm, looking at the stars ahead. Prepare for the next mission, he ordered. We continue forward, not just to survive, but to prove that humans cannot be stopped. The crew worked in perfect harmony. Myra monitored shields and weapons, Taro coordinated drones and communications, and Rena guided the ship through the vastness of space. Every movement was precise yet flexible, designed to adapt to any threat. Captain, Taro said, other species are sending ships to escort us. They want to witness our tactics firsthand. Leo nodded. Let them watch. We do not hide our actions. We show them that human courage and ingenuity are not to be underestimated. The galaxy began to change. Systems that had once dismissed humans now treated them with caution. Stories of a small, seemingly weak warship that survived impossible battles spread far and wide. Aliens learned that defeating humans required more than technology, it required outthinking them, something nearly impossible. The Hawk led a small fleet of human ships into unexplored regions, scouting, defending, and showing that humans could advance anywhere. Every mission, every encounter, reinforced the lesson: ingenuity, teamwork, and courage mattered more than size or power. Myra smiled as she adjusted a weapons system. I cannot believe how far we have come with this old ship. Leo looked at her with pride. It is not just the ship. It is us. Every person on this crew proved that humans are more than their tools. We survive because we think, adapt, and act boldly. Rena looked at the stars ahead. Do you think anyone can stop humans now? Leo shook his head. No. Not with strength alone. Not with fear or numbers. Humans advance because we do not follow rules blindly. We create our own path. That is why the galaxy will remember us. As the Hawk and its fleet moved forward, systems across the stars began to recognize the truth. Humanity was clever, fearless, and unstoppable. Alien fleets would adjust, but they would always struggle against the unpredictable strategies and unbreakable spirit of humans. The Hawk's crew worked tirelessly, every mission a lesson in ingenuity and courage. Every victory, no matter how small, strengthened humanity's reputation. The ship that was once called the dumbest in the galaxy had become a symbol of hope, bravery, and the power of thinking differently. Captain Leo looked at his crew, smiling. This is only the beginning. Humans will continue to advance, not because of our technology, but because of our courage, our minds, and our will to survive. The galaxy may never predict what we do next. The Hawk surged forward into the stars, small but powerful, ordinary in appearance but extraordinary in spirit. Humanity was unstoppable. The galaxy had learned a truth it could not ignore: no matter the odds, no matter the enemy, humans would survive, adapt, and thrive. And so, the legend of the Hawk and its crew grew. The dumbest warship in the galaxy had shown that courage, intelligence, and unity could make even the smallest force unstoppable. Humans advanced, ready for every challenge, proving that ingenuity and bravery were the greatest weapons of all.